everybody. It is time for the third and deciding game here in the losers match between Freeman and Zaraki. Winner of this game goes on to play True Touch. Loser is out of the TLS.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I thoroughly expect to see some fantasy GG timing from this one. They've both been slightly odd games. The first one was a roller coaster of a ride. The second one was just a little bit toothless. So Freeman, I hope he has a plan for Fighting Spirit, because this is the map of maps. Everybody knows this. So I'm pretty sure both guys will know how they want to play. So if there was ever a map where we're going to get a well-practiced, evenly fought-out battle, and this is going to be the one.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but I think that Zaraki probably has more experience on Fighting Spirit because, you know, as you said earlier, Freeman is kind of an old school guy. So I think when Freeman was his most active, I'm not sure if Fighting Spirit was necessarily as popular as it is nowadays. And I don't know how much practice he's had on it since, although obviously since it's used the majority of games on ladders everywhere, he probably has played a decent number of games on it anyway. And of course, there's nothing too tricky about the map. It's just a very nice standard macro map, so no silly backdoors to worry about or anything. So it really should allow both players to play whatever kind of game they want to play. I hope we get to see a nice longer ZVP here. I was expecting longer ZVPs from this matchup.
Me too.
You know, Zaraki being a bit more defensive in nature, and Freeman, you know. Well, to be honest, I don't really know much about Freeman's style, but still, I thought it'd be longer. But hey, we've got one game to see a nice long PBZ. Well, maybe more actually. If Freeman wins, we could see him against True Touch. That would be quite interesting. Although, I think True Touch would probably take that quite handily.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, not gonna count on that. Anyway, game 3. Here we go. Here we go at the top left position as the purple Protoss. We have NG Freeman. Bottom left as the brown Zerg. We have Sass Zaraki.
Oh, I was muted for a second there. I didn't actually say anything, but I was about to, and then I was like, am I still muted? Yes, I'm still muted. And that moment of silence was the time it takes for me to move my mouse from the Brood War screen to the unmute button.
Nice.
So yeah, not the highest unmute APM, but yeah, it could have been worse. Got it on the first click. Had worse times. Didn't hang up on you by mistake or anything. Just pretty cool.
It's good. It's good. It's always a success here on the TLS cast when we don't accidentally, drop each other out of the call or something like that. That's it's a big win here for us.
Yeah, it seriously is. Thinking about Fighting Spirit, it's kind of a funny one. How do people not get bored of watching Korean streams where every game is on Fighting Spirit?
Dude, I love it. I don't see how you. I asked the opposite question. How can you get bored? Because the thing is, right, most people think that playing on new and different maps makes better games. It's actually the opposite. Playing on Fighting Spirit every game is what makes better games, because the players are so comfortable, they start doing ridiculous things. Like, instead of having to worry about, oh, where am I going to make my buildings, can he, where can he drop, where do I put my siege tanks, they know it so well that they can start focusing on the really tiny little details like, hey, can I use this tree to get a mischance? Or, all these tiny little micro things, knowing the exact position. So I actually, in my experience, if you have lots of games on maps like Outsider, you just get lots of cheeses, you get very poorly thought out builds, poor building placement. Whereas if you play on Fighting Spirit, you get to see all of the nuances and things, which is really amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, you've completely turned me around on it, so well done. Very well done. I guess I just kind of wish people were could be equally as well practiced on just one or two other maps to really showcase some other stuff.
If people knew maps like Outsider as well as they did Fighting Spirit, absolutely, I think Outsider could give us even better games. The problem is they don't, and that's the whole thing, is that the level of familiarity and knowledge on Fighting Spirit just so far outweighs all the other maps that Fighting Spirit is what you're going to get the best games on, unfortunately. Or
Yeah,
fortunately.
that is true.
Depending on your
Well,
point of view.
yeah, so we have the map, so it's not like it's lost knowledge. We can still keep playing it and keep enjoying the games that people come out with. But yeah, remembering how much it takes to really suss out a map. Like, there were people back when Outsider was being played by pros who could hardly get their shit together on that map. So it's a tough one. That's like an especially tough one to really master.
Oh,
But,
these Lings. Are they going to come in here in time? The cannon is just finishing! Oh!
cheeky. Freeman managing to get the Nexus down before he makes any cannons and suffering no ill consequences because of it. He is making 2 cannons though. Don't know how necessary that is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's just worried because, last game there was a run by when he only had the 1 cannon. I mean, he actually built 2 cannons last game. The second one wasn't quite in time, so there was the run by. I guess he's just being safe. Also, this is kind of the most awkward position to wall on this map, so there's a few gaps here. You can see he's blocking with his probes, but I don't know. I guess he just wants to be safe, and that's completely understandable. You know, it's the deciding game. If he loses this, he's knocked out of the tournament. Doesn't want to lose to anything silly like a Ling run by.
Yeah, that's very, very understandable. And it all goes towards us getting a nice longer PVZ as well. So I'm actually quite well behind him.
Yep.
And he's going to get a little bit of a decent scout on Zaraki's main. That probe not going to last too much longer. I would think he's probably going to send another probe out fairly soon, so he can maybe get it hidden somewhere on the map before that one gets shut down. Because he doesn't want to be in a situation like last game where he's making unnecessary cannons in his mineral line, which then are completely useless. Just imagine if he'd had those extra 2 cannons at the front of his base instead of hanging around his main nexus. It could have looked quite different.
Indeed, you're absolutely right. In the meantime, looks like everything going as normal in this game. 3rd hatchery at the bottom right. Cybernetics core on the way. Looks like the Lings have chased down the probe, so they're going to head back over now to check out or just to chill at the front of the Protoss Natural. There's already got the Overlord there seeing what's going on. A little bit surprised he's not sending this into the main, actually, especially now that the Zerglings are coming back. He can easily go in and see what's going on in the main and then get out again. It looks like he doesn't actually really care unless I'm missing something. No, he's got nothing else checking things out, so he's content to just sit there outside the natural. And, that's fine, because Raymond's not doing anything crazy, but it's interesting. Oh no, he's heading up into the main now, okay. It's a bit late.
Yeah, that is a little bit late, isn't it? It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess there's still time to see the Stargate on the way, but like if the deal is made right now, I could easily pick this guy off.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it would be an idea, because it's always nice just to keep what you're doing secret, whatever it is, because then it can be anything. It's just a complete guessing game for your opponent. So yeah, a little bit of a strange bit of Overlord action right there from Zaraki, but he's going to see everything that's going on. Freeman once again, really standard stuff. He's made up his Stargate, he's got his Citadel on the way, really not deviating from the norm at all at this point. He's got his +1 ground weapons in as well. This really seems to be how he likes to play.
Indeed it is, and I think it's a completely fine way to play. It's pretty middle of the road, kind of standard opening.
Yep.
And on the other side, looks like Zaraki also playing pretty calmly here, getting his 5 hatcheries, getting his Spire, making all the normal walls and things. Everything going as expected so far on this map. So we're going to go into the mid game pretty quickly here without too much action, which is nice. Get to see some more action from these guys going into the later game. Of course, getting a 3rd base with Protoss also will be fairly easy on this map. So if Freeman wants to go for a fast third again, should be able to do that.
Yeah, he should. Fast thirds on this map are interesting. I remember a great thing watching Stork doing once. He went for a Sarah Reaver build on this map, and he was using these Reavers and he was shuffling them between his natural and his 3rd, and he was able to get a super early 3rd against Zerg. He just barely hold on to it. It was clutch play, but it was really cool. And a fast 3rd plays are very possible on Fighting Spirit, especially in this position, because you can see he's expanding away from Zerg. It's great for Freeman to do that. So I would imagine that's going to be kind of on his radar. He's going to get some decent map control, but against any kind of decent player, he's probably not going to win straight up with those Zealots. So I'd imagine, yeah, map control is going to be where it's at. How is his Zealot speed doing? It's not being too far from done, but Zaraki looking well prepared in advance. It's a sunken niche location. Maybe he's going to get away with one.
It's a cool little surrounded cannon by his main Nexus.
Yeah, I like it.
Interesting. I don't like that he once again went for the first Overlord instead of going for a Scout. That seems to be how he likes to play here. I think it's questionable. Oftentimes it's not going to really matter, but occasionally if the Zerg's doing something sneaky, you just won't see it. And, you know, you just have to play a little bit more cautiously, although at least he's only getting the one cannon in his main this time.
That's actually something I tell myself every game PvZ, is that Corsair needs to go out. First priority, if you don't know what your opponent's doing, you get out there and find out. I actually, it goes through my head consciously every time, because you remember those stupid games you lost because you just didn't quite know what your opponent was up to.
These speed lots could do a lot of damage. Oh my god, where's Zaraki's stuff? Oh man, finally having a few hydras coming out, but they're a little bit stuck. They're getting stuck on the drones, getting a little, Zel's got a lot of free shots here. Looks like he's going after Hydrogen. That's very interesting. He might get him and actually stop the range upgrade, but really getting grilled to hell here. I don't know if this is the best idea, if he's even gonna get it. I think he might barely get it. It's gonna be close. He's got one talent. Oh no! He doesn't get it. It's 24 HP, and the range will finish. But there's DTs here. Is he gonna go at one swipe with a DT? One DT, no!
Oh, Freeman, this makes me so sad. That was disastrous for Freeman, and I mean disastrous. He lost every single one of his speed lots.
I think he's gonna die to the counterattack.
Yeah, he's probably just going to die to the counter-attack. What those speed lots managed to do is they managed to take 830 health off a Hydralisk den. That is it. And now the counter-attack's coming in. He's got 2 photon cannons only. He's got a high Templar with no storm. He needs to get out there and defend with whatever he can. Probe, Zealots, high Templar. Whoa, he does have 1 storm, and that could just be enough to hold on for the time being. But we have more units coming in from Zeraki.
He can kill the overlords. He can make a DT. He just needs to make a DT now. He's got all the overlords. He just needs a DT. Make a DT, bro. Make a DT, bro. Somebody make a DT. He's not making a DT. Why is he not making? Oh, he's just gonna make Archons. Oh, that's not gonna do anything.
Archons are pretty good, but
Should've
not
just left
that
them aside Templars and ran them up the ramp. Now they're just gonna die anyway.
Yeah, they're just gonna die.
Oh, panic mode into GG. Freeman, what the hell was that? Oh, Freeman.
Oh dear.
You know what? I'm just gonna read a comment from Gurgurix from the chat that sums it up nicely. Attacking Hydroden says how little he knows about PvZ. I mean, that's a little bit harsh, but
well,
there's basically never a situation there where you want to actually attack the Hydroden. The Hydroden has 850 HP. You know, it doesn't really cost that many minerals. Sure, maybe you can stop the upgrade, but it takes forever to get down, especially as part of the wall. You're not getting much surface area anyway.
It was like he went in with these speed zealots. He's like, great, I've got all these speed zealots. So he thought, okay, I'm going to go through the mineral line. Nope, can't go through the mineral line. And then he had this moment of madness where he thought, oh, but look, the Hydra stands there. I can just bust straight through that, and then I'm in. And by the time he was attacking it and the probes were offline, it was too late. He couldn't do anything. There was no going back. It only took a split second to make that stupid decision. And then it was all over.
Yeah. I mean, even while that was happening, he wasn't actually macroing back home, so I think he was too busy focusing on the attack, so when the attack ended, he had like 1,000 minerals.
But
and
he
built,
must
like,
have
6
just
gateways.
been sort of watching it, because all that happened was the Zealots attacked the Hydralisk den, and that was it. He just sort of watching it, thinking, come on, please, magic happen, magic happen. And it didn't happen.
I mean, the thing is, even if he killed it, he still would have lost to the counterattack, so, you know, it's like, well, sure, maybe he was unlucky that it didn't die, but even if it died, it doesn't matter.
Who cares? It's really, really cheap, really quick to remake.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some argument for saying, well, if he killed it, range wouldn't have finished, but I don't think it even mattered if the Hydra had range there, because like there were 2 cannons and 1 storm, and that was it. So
yeah.
And his probes are always really late to come out to block for some reason. So
yeah, really, really late. It's like he doesn't want to imagine that that's what's necessary until it's too late.
Well, that's all she wrote for Freeman. So a good run for him, though, making it all the way to the round of 16. You know, I think most people thought he would go out in the round of 24. So still doing a decent job. And that means we will have a Zaraki versus True Touch in the final match. A rematch from game number 1. Let's see if Zaraki can pull it out this time. Because the winner of this next best of 3 will advance to the round of 8. The loser is out. See you guys in a bit.